One of these logos was sold for $1.5 million and the other for just $70. This right here is the reality of the graphic design world. Oh, and a side note, the Citibank logo was drawn onto a napkin in 5 minutes, then vectorized, and wow, what a smooth way to make 1.5 million, huh? But why is that the case? Why can someone draw a design on a napkin real fast, vectorize it, and then make millions of dollars? And also, how can you raise your prices as a graphic designer? We'll look at them more closely soon, but first, you 100% absolutely need to know a few things about pricing your work. Some things you might be getting totally wrong. Let me ask you this question. Do you currently sell your services and your designs per hour or at a fixed rate? Each approach has its own advantages and potential downsides, and the decision you make can have huge impacts on your career. Here's the thing, I suggest you probably should be using both in different situations, and here's why. Now, if you're about to work on a brief that is very clear and obvious in terms of the roadmap of the project, something you've likely done countless times before, a fixed rate might be a good option here because you know the time and the work involved into that project. But if the project is more unknown and you're not quite sure how long it might take, hourly billing here will likely be the better option. Now, it should be noted that, of course, clients most of the time prefer a fixed rate because they know exactly what they're going to get involved in terms of pricing and payment. But if you want to sell your work and your time by the hour, you need to communicate really well with your client. You need to break down how the estimated work hours come into play. And giving your client a rough estimate of the time taken will actually give them more confidence in hiring you per hour. You might also want to put a cap on the amount of hours to give them further confidence. But the fixed rate approach does have a hidden upshot for graphic designers. Now, if you're working at a fixed rate, you might have more incentive to finish the project faster, which can induce a better productivity in your career as a whole. But a good designer will never sacrifice speed over quality. Always deliver quality work, guys and gals. But when considering your prices, be it fixed rate or by the hour, you should be fully aware of how much 1 hour of your time is worth. And here's why. If you consider your time to be worth $25 an hour as an example, and you know a logo design project will normally take around 20 hours of your time, then you can set fixed prices at $500, or better yet, $600 as to allow for a buffer for unexpected outcomes during the project. And a pro tip here, of course, is to always stipulate in the contract how much you're going to be paid if you go over the allocated time per hour, because you really do not want to be working for free for ages on a contract. Now, we will soon look at some awesome tips at not only pricing your work effectively, but how to get more money in the process. But before that, here's something that speeds up any graphic design workflow and revolutionizes it in the process. This is Fotor, and with this powerhouse software, you can do all kinds of really cool things such as edit a photo, make an actual design or a collage. But today, we're interested in the new and hot AI features that really help your workflow as a graphic designer. So, if we mosey on over to the AI tools here, we see a nice collection of things that we can make great use of in our workflows. And I will show you my 3 best tools to use here for a faster and more efficient workflow. Now, first of all, we have the AI Expand tool. Now, sometimes clients will send you designs or imagery to work with that don't fit the dimensions of the final document. And of course, that can be annoying. And even myself right here on YouTube, when it comes to making thumbnails, sometimes I just need to stretch things out to fit that thumbnail size, and this will really come in handy. This thing removes all of the need for those tedious steps, and we can extend our image with just a few simple clicks. It's pretty cool and it's ultra efficient, and we can even control the dimensions here. And also, if we want to, we can generate more images if needed. The results are pretty intelligent and it's a great addition to any workflow. So next, Fotor has a really good text image generator, but also it generates from existing images as well if you want to go down that route. One awesome feature that this thing has, however, is the aspect ratio settings found here, which I really do love. Now, you can choose how many images you want to generate, and we have suggestions of art style here if you are stuck for inspiration. But when it comes to your workflow, you can quickly make graphics or elements that slot into any project, which will save you heaps of time in the long run. But again, of course, AI is just a tool, and it shouldn't be something that designs everything for you. It should just be there to assist you in your workflow. And finally today, something I find to be more intuitive and faster than Photoshop is Fotor's background remover, but also you can add backgrounds with it as well. Now you can either upload an image or you can use one of their stock ones found here. But this is so fast and it's also pretty precise, and it will easily slot into your workflow with a snap of a finger. And you can try out Fotor, linked in the description box of today's video, and thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. So when it comes to why one designer can charge hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions for one project, and then someone else stuck on Fiverr selling designs for $20, there are a few key and notable things to keep in mind. The most obvious here is reputation and experience. Designers who have established themselves as experts in their field and have a strong reputation can command higher fees. But remember this important fact. These people have often already gone through the tough times where they were selling designs for next to nothing or sometimes for free. Essentially, these designers have already made it in this industry. And of course, they also have a high profile, effective and awesome portfolio to back up their expertise and their reputation. But then things come down to a simple business factor, and that is supply and demand. They have created a situation where their time and skills are in high demand, i.e. many people want to use their services, but they only have a finite amount of time. This is when you can start increasing your prices. It's when you start to feel like you don't have enough time to work on all of the projects that are coming in. But what about some useful tips on how to raise those prices right now? Well, firstly, simply create more demand for your services. I say it time and time again on this channel, and its importance never lessens. Grow social media accounts and spread the word about what you do. Social media is free advertising, and the more people who know who you are and what you do, the more demand you will gradually get and the higher prices will go. But then things do go way beyond this simple technique. If you can show a client or potential client added value that you can bring to them, then you can charge more money for those services. Perhaps you can offer ongoing support after the project is finished. Or after having done some research into your client, you might understand how to position your client's business in the best possible way, all through your design. Basically, you can demonstrate how your design targets a very specific audience and how it goes above and beyond its typical standard normal logo design. And this next tip is a complete game changer when it comes to pricing your work. Create packages for clients. So say for example, someone is a logo designer, and instead of just marketing their services as a logo designer, they might now have a brand package available. The premium brand package will be worth more money, of course, and it might include not only a logo design, but also a strategic branding consultation, social media graphics, and ongoing priority support. Now this might well appeal to quite a few logo design clients out there, and of course the price would be double, triple, even more than just a logo design. Another good tip is to sell up tier pricing schemes. So for example, you might have a basic tier, a standard tier, and a premium tier. Each new tier will offer more in the way of value and thus more in the way of pricing. But here's the thing, you really need to know what your clients actually want. You should be aware of what problems they face in their business and how you can solve those problems with your design skills. In knowing all of that information, you can then market your services to meet and solve those problems. It might be that a client is struggling to compete in their industry, or their branding is outdated, or maybe even they have been messed around by designers in the past. Whatever their pain points are, market your services as a means to solve their problems, and then watch those clients flood in over time. And this is why I emphasize so much that if you want to be a graphic designer in this day and age, it really does pay to just understand marketing from a very basic level at least. Not only does it help you make more targeted, efficient designs, but it also helps when you come to sell your services as a freelancer, but also when you're trying to get hired into an in-house position as a graphic designer. But if you want to learn some tips that really help with the psychology of graphic design and help you make better designs, just click that video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.